She got the tripod out for you.
Yeah, I got the tripod out now, mate.
Oh, you got the
Proper
tripod, yeah?
professional thing is now. Yeah.
You got the ring light as well.
Yeah, I got the ring light now on.
I can see the light. I can see the light.
You're
Yeah.
looking good. You're looking good. No, just hope you enjoy it, man, and just be yourself, Chris, man. Like, do you know what I mean? The people you're already doing,
Yeah.
so just make the people already love you, man. You know what I mean?
hmm
Yeah, so
Yeah,
just
appreciate it, bro.
you're destined. You're destined for great things, bro.
And welcome to another episode of Beyond the 92, a show that brings you up close and personal to the Vandermeer National League. We're going to talk about the goals, all the latest news, and everything happening in the Man League. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Femi and Samni. And once again, we've got a very special guest, Altrincham number 10, Chris Conn-Clarke. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, boys.
Welcome to
How's
the
it going, Chris? How's things, man?
It's going well, mate. It's going well. Football's going well, so once that's going well, life's going well, isn't it, really?
100%. Are you one of those people that when the game, as you said, is going well, when the game's going well for you, everything's good, or do you separate the two, life and football?
I'd say when football's going well, I'm completely different. Like once I'm playing well, I'll be sound off the pitch as well, and I'll enjoy myself off the pitch. But like if we have a bad game or like we get beat or something, like I'll come in and not speak to the missus the rest of the night. Like so many of them guys, but I do try and separate it. Like as soon as I come home from training, like I try to just try and switch football off. But my missus always goes mad at me about watching football and always talking about it. Like so, it's hard to switch off sometimes, isn't it?
No, I hear you. I hear you.
And Chris, how have you adapted to obviously you've been there for like 5 years now, 5 years in England.
Yeah.
To living in England, living in this country, because you're from Northern Ireland.
Well, yeah, I moved over when I was 16 to Burnley. Done my scholar there. At the start, I found it hard, like, because it's the first time being away from home, like. Found it really hard, but all the boys at Burnley were really sound lads. I've made friends for life. Still speak to some of them now, like, so they made it good for me, like. And Burnley as a club, like, I can't fault them. They helped me behind the scenes as well when I was struggling. But yeah, ever since then I've just not looked back, like, and I feel like England's my home now at the minute.
Has anyone from that Burnley team that you played with, like, got into the first team or playing in the Prem or the Champ?
Not in my team, but like a few of the older boys. Dwight McNeil, he was in the Roundup. He's flat at Everton, isn't he? Another boy, Bobby Thomas. He's not in the Prem. He's playing for Coventry as well. Like,
so you've also represent your country at youth levels, and obviously with the season that you're having at Altrincham, I'd like to say you're the main man and you've got a lot of good players, but it seems as though you're the focal point in that attack. I just want to know what are your aspirations and goals for the season and going forward?
Well, personally, at the start of the season, I said I wanted 15 goals, so I'm on track to do that. But as a squad, I felt like at the start of the season we just wanted to be better than last season. If that's 1 point extra, then that's 1 point extra. But I feel like the way we've started the season, and we're 17 games in now. I think we've relined our goals, and I think that playoffs is looking a bit more believable for us. To be fair, when I first came in, I felt with the signings we've made, it just changed everything. Like we made some cracking signings, like Justin Amaluzer. He's an unbelievable talent. Like some player, like you boys know him, he's a London boy. Like I felt like we could have pushed for the playoffs, but obviously it was just talk. So to feel like we're getting closer to it, and we had a great win yesterday against Southend, who would have been above us in the table if it wasn't for the 10-point deduction. That was a great win, and I thought the boys were unbelievable yesterday. Like,
For
Yeah.
sure. I said for sure. And Southend, like you said, if it wasn't for the deduction, they'll be up there. And you guys are obviously flying high. You're fifth in the league, and it's good to see. I'm not gonna lie. When we played you guys, it was a great battle. You know, it was a great battle.
yeah,
and
yeah. Honestly, no offense, but I hate playing against these guys. Like, they're so tough to break down. Like, these are just solid. Like, it's always a tough game against these boys. Like,
No, it's mutual. It's mutual for sure. Obviously, we always do our prep on teams, and the gaffer's always singing your praises. And I think you might have even there was a flash when one of the goals. I think you might have nutmegged someone, went past someone else, and slipped it through. Like you're one of those players that if you take your eye off you for a second, you're going to cause some damage. But how did you build that kind of confidence and hone your game in that way? Because you've obviously got the talent and you're showing that at Altrincham, but where does that come from? Is it just a natural thing, or is it players that you watched growing up? What was it?
nah, well, with me, like, I grew up like in Belfast, and it was just street football for me. Like, I always feel like I always try and be like streetways on the pitch as well, and just have fun with it. Even if it's like, if I'm not getting goals, or like, I'll just try and enjoy myself on the pitch and just express myself and like on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, before like proper went into football, I was just playing on the streets with my mates, like, and that's probably the way my game is now. But really, isn't it?
It's funny you say that because a lot of you see like the street footballers, so you think of like their Bire Eze's, Zaha's, back in the day, Wolf Balassi. Those are the kind of players that get bums off seat, and you're certainly one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you said about Justin, me and Femi, we've had quite a few runners with you two, and it's always a tough battle for sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
So obviously we're gonna look at some of the games from yesterday. As you said there, you beat a good Southend team 2-0 at home. Amaluzo and Dono are getting the goals. What is it about Altrincham this season? Because you've always been a good team, but as you said, you made some good signings, but it seems like something's changed over there. Is it what can you put it down to?
I personally think it comes from the gaffer and Sorbs. Like, Sorbs on the training pitch, he's one of the best coaches I've ever had. Like, he's so like in detail. Like if you look at the goals we score, like it just doesn't. It's not just off the cuff. Like, it's like we would do that in training most days. Like, attacking phases of play and that. And the gaffer, he just, like, even if you're not playing well, like, the gaffer will just give you so much belief in yourself. Like I'm only 21, like, and I haven't been in the game for long, like, but I would say this is the first gaffer it's proper believed in me, like, and like, when I first joined last season, I think my first 10 games I scored 1 goal, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get dropped now, I'm gonna get dropped. But he just kept pursuing with me, and just kept playing me. I was like, he really believes in me here, like, and I felt like I repaid him. I ended up getting 10 goals by January last year, and then this year again he's just given me the belief again. So I feel like that's an aspect as well, but the club as well. It's changing so much. Obviously, last year full time for the first time. I feel like this year we've sort of like settled down a bit, and we know what's going on now. So I feel like the club as well. We're putting money into the team now as well. Obviously with the signings. So I feel like it's all just adding together, and it's paying well on the pitch, like, isn't it?
For sure, for sure. And yeah, like I said, you're definitely one of without blowing too much smoke up you. You're definitely one of the best players this season. You know, you're definitely in the running for the league's player of the season. You know, talk to me a little bit about this form that you're on, this form that you found, because not only are you chipping in with goals and assists, but the goals and assists that you're chipping in with, they're actually incredible. It's like magic, like, you know what I mean? You're pulling out the maddest tricks,
Nah,
like the maddest finishes.
yeah.
Just yeah, talk to me a little bit about that.
Nah, I appreciate it, but I've always had this, like I've always had like special moments in games. Like, I've always been like it. It's just I haven't had the chance to do it. Obviously the gaffers give me the chance to do it. So Yeah, it's just always who I've been like. I've always been like this. I've always wanted to be the best player on the pitch. Like, but I'm working hard every day with the gaffer, like to try and do different stuff in my game. So yeah, I'm still learning, but I'm doing all right, aren't I?
So talk us about that game. How was yesterday's game?
It was a proper enjoyable game. Like, the boys were excellent. Like first half, we didn't think we would have created as many chances against them because obviously they're a top class side. Like, but we created a lot of chances yesterday, and they had some good defending in the first half. Went in 0-0. They had a chance as well in the first half. Their striker missed a good chance, to be fair to him, but we came out second half and we were unbelievable. The lads just it was just hard work. We beat them with hard work yesterday, and then bits of class as well. Justin's goal was a good team goal, and JD's was a great finish. So yeah, we beat them with hard work. I would say yesterday we knew we were going to go in for like a gunfight, and we were going to war with them. And I feel like that's one thing Altrincham as a team has been lacking over the years, going to war with teams like. So I feel like we impressed in that role yesterday. Like,
Yeah, it's definitely you'll be surprised how many results you can get just through hard work. You know, that's kind of
yeah,
our answer at Wormwood. We're just going to try and outwork the opposition in whatever way we can.
exactly.
As you know, little moments, little bits of magic are always going to come up. It's about whether or not you're clinical enough to take those chances. It seems like you guys did as well yesterday.
Yeah,
Continue fifth in the league now. As you said, the goals have changed because you're now looking at playoffs. I think everyone in agreement that Chesterfield are probably going to run away with it at this point.
yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying. But
Yeah.
as you said, you've changed the goals now. Is that the realistic aim now? What are you actually aiming for? Is it the playoffs, or are you just as you said, trying to get better from last season?
Nah, it is the playoffs. I feel like the position we've put ourselves in now, like I think we've had a few meetings with the gaffer and that, and he says we're changing our goals. Like, we want the playoffs, like, and that's down to ourselves, the high standards we've set ourselves now. Like, so I know it's still very early, like, but personally, I feel like we do have a lot to get into the playoffs, depending on injuries. Obviously, we don't have a big squad when it comes into that December time, and there's a lot of games, isn't there? So depending on the injuries and that, I think that's what will stop us. Like if we get loads of injuries, but if we keep fit and everyone's available, I feel like we'll have a right chance to get in there. Like,
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And you know what? You're in this position after 17, 18 fixtures. So there's no point in not going for it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You might as well go for it
exactly.
if you're in that position. But you know what I like about what you said earlier on as well? You spoke about the hard work. You spoke about, obviously, we all know that you're blessed with ability, but you also spoke about working hard and team ethic. And it seems like you've got a wise head on your young shoulders, you know, and it's good to hear because even though the National League is like a league full of a lot of senior players and seasoned pros, it's like there's a few young ones that are coming through with the right mindset, right mentality, and are actually thriving in this division. The likes of yourself, Zach Brunt, you're surrounded by senior players, but it's like you're grasping every single minute of first team football and you're adapting it to your game, and it's making you become a better player and growing at a very fast rate. There's lots of others as well, Coley at Bromley, it's good to see that in such a senior league full of senior players, a lot of young players are thriving.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, me, I'm realistic. I know I'm young. I'm only 21. I'm still learning the game. This is only my second full year in men's football, like, isn't it? So when I look at the squad and I look at some players we have, even Sorbs is playing the championship every day. You just want to listen to them. Sometimes I'm not agree with them because it's just who I am, like, but I want to listen to them every day and learn as much as I can. And that's one game. One thing about my game I need to learn more is that hard work. I don't work hard every game, like, but I try my best. But that's one thing I'm at into my game, working hard a lot more. Like yesterday, I covered 11.5K. I think that's the first time I've done that in my whole career. Like, never covered 11.5K. I couldn't believe it.
Me and you both.
Welcome to the club, bro.
Nah, I don't think I've ever hit that, but I know Femi hit that yesterday. Femi, you hit 11
Yeah,
and a half as well, right?
No,
11 and a half.
11.8.
Um, man, I came home and I felt ill. I didn't even have the energy to eat yesterday. Like, I just went straight to bed, went straight to sleep. Like, it was mad.
Yeah,
It gets like
that's
this.
Yeah,
that's
You know when we played you guys, yeah, I hit over 12K.
it's mad. Like, I was the fourth highest. Our left back hit 12.5K, and I'm like, how are you doing that? Like, that's just crazy. Like I said, I think I covered 12, 13K or like, and then 11 and a half. He said, I was like, that's mad, like crazy.
for a number 10, that's a lot of that's a lot of mileage. But the game's evolving and the game's adapting, and you have to run. If you don't run, chances are you're not going to play because that's just what the game is now. You know, as
Yeah,
much as
it's
you can be like,
completely changed now, isn't it?
it's so different. It's so different. But to be fair, I got sent off yesterday, so that's probably why Femi done so much more K.
Did
So
you? I didn't even know. I should have slated you at the start.
we're gonna get to that, Chris. We're gonna get to that. But yeah, I owe you an apology, fam. I owe the boys an apology because I made them do so much more running. But hey, we got there. Do you know what? This might be a good time to go into that straight into that game, fam. Now we've spoken about it. Obviously, we drew 1-1 with Bromley yesterday. I got sent off in the 41st minute. Two bookable offences, childish from myself as an older pro. I probably should know better.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first one was a bit of a dubious one, but the referee gave me a yellow. And to be fair, playing on the yellow cards it's an art, you know, it's an art. But on this occasion, I thought I could get to the ball, probably pushed it a little bit too far, but the boys dug it out. We went, no, honestly, Chris, it was embarrassing. It's embarrassing. The boys dug it out for me. Erico Sosa on fire again, scoring from, I think it was that 25 yards, fam?
Yeah.
25 yards, and we conceded from a set piece against a good Bromley team who started the season slowly, but they're up to third now. So a 1-1 draw down to 10 men is probably a good result. I mean, I thought the boys, up until I got sent off anyway, I thought we was in the game, really.
Yeah.
We had a lot of chances to win it, even at the end when we had 10 men. But yeah, it was I think when you come off the pitch with 10 men and think you should have won, that lets you know how well you played, you know. But Fem, how did you see this game?
Yeah, I thought we were in it. I thought we started off really, really well. I felt like Bromley, we have good battles against Bromley every time we play them, man. And it's always honourable and it's always respectable. And as soon as the game started, Bromley, they didn't disrespect us, they respected us. And what I mean by that is that they pressed in spells. It wasn't just constant pressing. Sometimes they let us have the ball, you know, because they knew that we're capable of unlocking them at times. And I thought like that just helped with our confidence. It helped us grow into the game, you know, and I think for the most part, we were on top. You know, I actually feel the goal we conceded was against the run of play. You know, and then yeah, when we're in it, we're on top, creating chances. Obviously, Jamal goes and gets sent off. You know, I can't walk this morning because I had to
I'm laughing because if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry. So I got to laugh.
You live and you learn, huh?
Even at my age, Chris. Even at my age, you live and you learn, bro.
Exactly.
But it's fine. We ain't got a game for a week, so yeah, I'll be back. I'll recover, and I'm sure the boys are probably feeling how I'm feeling as well, and they'll recover. But with 10 men, it was actually weird. And you know what? We've played against 10 men a couple of times this season, and in some cases, it can be a little bit harder to play.
I agree, but it does get a bit harder, yeah.
Yeah, than 11 men. So
yeah,
for the first time, we're on the reverse with the 10 men, and I just feel like Bromley couldn't really break us down with 10 men. You know, they affecting us in wide areas. You know, but that's kind of where you have the overload, you know, if a wide man's on the ball and there's a runner from centre mid running in behind into the channel you play them in. I feel like they affected us there. But in terms of actually breaking us down, they didn't really, and it's something that we've been, like I said, we've done it against Waldstone. We found it tough to break them down when they had 10 men. But with that
Mhm.
being said, the boys pull it in. They all pull it in. Like everybody stepped up their game 10, 20%, and we dug deep. And even with 10 men, we still had spells, we still had loads of chances. Like, to be honest, like you look at the second half and you think, well, we could actually win it. And on the pitch, it felt like
One,
we
yeah.
could actually win it here, you know. And
Mhm.
Erico, like Jamal said, he's just been magnificent for us recently, and he popped up with the equalizer for us. So I think it's a good result, especially with 10 men coming back scoring with 10 men. It was a good result, good game.
Yeah. Yeah, that Souza is a good player for you. He's like in the he's
Yeah,
quality. Like every time we come up against him, like he has a bit like he does, doesn't he?
yeah,
Something seems like something just obviously we see him every day, so we see the talent, but now he's just I think when you're in that state of mind where you know everything you touch is just going to turn to gold. So he's just doing whatever he wants, and it just seems to come off. You know, so you can see it in his demeanor before the game, after the game. He's so relaxed.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to watch, man. It's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
For him. One of the biggest games of the yesterday was Chesterfield versus Barnet. Obviously, we spoke about how well Chesterfield have been. Record attendance at their ground, sold out. They beat Barnet 4-2. Obviously, first versus second. Dobra, Grigg, Quigley, and Jacobs with their goals. And Kabamba up to 12 goals, and Gary Hooper with a consolation in the last few minutes. But how did you think that game went, Chris? Obviously, it's a big game.
Yeah, I watched the highlights of it just a few minutes ago, like, but Chesterfield's run away with it now. It was 4-0, wasn't it, at one point? Like, and then they scored 92 and 96, I think. But I think Chesterfield's just unbelievable. Like, aren't they? Like, you look at like the players they're having off on the bench coming off. Like that Barry, he's a quality player. Played against him a few times for Macclesfield and that. And then one week Coldclough's on the bench and he's coming on, and then Dobra, Jacobs. There's so many, like their squad's just a joke. Like, but then Will Grigg, obviously he's been there, done that, hasn't he? So you just look at the whole around the pitch. They're unbelievable. But to be fair, the Barnet, that's the only team we've played this season, and they've like proper beat us. Like, that's not the way we weren't in it that game. Like, I was at their place, so that just goes to show how good Chesterfield are. Like, and it just spanked them 4-2, like crazy.
Yeah, you're right. It's the strength and depth that they've got. It seems as though there was a few games where they were scoring a lot of last minute goals, and it was like, okay, we want to win, so we're just going to throw everyone forward. We're going to throw all our players on, and hopefully,
Yeah,
it seems like it's working, and the fans are now coming through the turnstiles as well. So if it wasn't hard enough playing against top of the league, now you've got 10,000 fans, and
exactly.
don't like to talk about people going to Chesterfield and not being able to handle the atmosphere. But Fem, talk to me about that game as well. How did you see it?
No, right now there must be a mad belief, like in that changing room, in that stadium. Like you said, I like talking about the stadiums and that ground, the fans. There must be a belief. It must be crazy going there. I'm looking forward to when we go there. To be honest with you, and do you know what? Barnet second in the league. Yeah, I'm look. Obviously, Chesterfield are flying, and we all know that. Look at this point, it's looking like they're going to be the runaways in it. You know, even last week they beat Portsmouth, but even the way they beat Portsmouth in the FA Cup, it was like that's top of League One. You know, and they just beat them.
Mad,
They just beat them like it's nothing. You know,
crazy. Like,
yeah, and that goes to show how good the squad are that they can go to the top of League One and just go and beat them, like you know. But I will say I was a little bit surprised that it was 4-0 at a point because I do rate Barnet. Um, I think Barnet are a good team, so I'm sure that they will be disappointed with how the game went because being 4-0 down is not a good feeling, and then it's now you're looking at players and you're looking at each other thinking, okay, well, I know we're at Chesterfield, but come on, not 4-0, you know what I mean?
mm,
So,
yeah,
and obviously the Nicky Kabamba scored in the 90th minute along with Gary Hooper, but yeah, like credit to Chesterfield, credit to them, you know, they're just going about their business, and you know what, they're not even making too much noise about it, they're just ticking game off after
Just
game.
going about the business, aren't they?
Yeah, like you're not hearing too much about them. Like you're not seeing them on the socials doing the most. You're not hearing them like interviews. You're not seeing nothing. They're just doing their thing, and yeah, it looks like they're focused and they're locked in. So yeah, like you said, like it's looking like they're gonna do it this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? I must say, we're the only team to beat them though, so they can't do it at Moss Lane, can they?
You know what? Yeah, you look back at this season. Yeah, that's a nice memory to have. I'm not gonna lie.
It is, isn't it?
When the season
Yeah.
What was the score? What was the score in that game?
2-1 us. We were 1-0 down and scored on the 88th and 90th minute, like so.
Yeah, it's the
some result, like.
stoppage time. It's new stoppage time rule. You gotta stay concentrated for so much longer now. It's crazy.
Crazy. And you know,
Yeah,
and you know what, another thing as well, yeah. You see Chesterfield, yeah, they share the goals. Like they literally share the goals. Like you've got obviously Will Grigg, the talisman, the top goal scorer, and he's just I said it before, he's just going about his business silently. Let me get my 2 goals a month, 2 goals a month. Every month if I get 2, I'm gonna end up 20 at the end of the year. No, nothing. He's not on hat tricks. He's not on. Do you know what I mean? That's when you know you're a real striker, when you're just ticking off the months. End of the month. All right, I've got 2-3 goals this month. All right, we move on to November now. November. So he's just going about his business. So he's the talisman. But the contributions from the rest of the park, like Dobra, Michael Jacobs chipping in with Joe Quigley, he's just like
every time he comes on,
he's delivering as well. So second strikers, it's even a disrespect to call him that, because he's scoring goals as well. And it just seems like they've got goals from all over the park. Yesterday, Ollie Banks never scored, Naylor never scored, Colclough never scored, But these are names that you see on the goal scoring sheet every week, So they've just got goals everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. You think Grigg will get top goal scorer?
Grigg?
You think you get top goal scorer?
Oh, do you know what? This is a good conversation. This is a very good conversation.
That was actually going to be one of my questions. Because
it's mad. There's so many players this year, isn't there, that can get it, like.
Honestly, I don't know if the level of strikers has gone up or the level of defending has gone down, but there's about 3 or 4 players, like there's a Riri, Nanga on 12, Kabamba on 12, and then you've got a couple of others that are on 9 and 10 goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Grigg's in with a shout. I think Kabamba's definitely going to be up there. And it's interesting because Kabamba got stopped from going to Chesterfield last season, and now he's reacted in the right way by being one of the top goal scorers. But also there's Dominic Polion, who we had on the show last week as well. It's going to be tough. And then there's even you. You're on 8 goals already. You say you're on 15. You're probably going to beat that quite soon. So it's a tough one to call. It's a tough one, but I wouldn't bet I'll be a silly man to bet on Will Grigg, to be honest with you, to bet against him. So
yeah.
Let's have this. Let's go on, Chris. Sorry, let's have this conversation now. Yeah. So who is everyone's thinking is going to be the top goal scorer at the end of the season?
Do you know what? I would have said Denanga if the Gateshead manager had stayed.
Yes.
But now I'm going to say Grigg because he has the experience, doesn't he?
He does.
But you see, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, yeah? I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say, do you know what, yeah? Well, Grigg, like I said, he's ticking off his thing, innit? But we're yet to see 4 goals in the game, a hat trick, like you know what I'm saying. So like, Will Grigg for sure, 20 minimum. But you look at last season, you look at like Mullen and Langstaff, and to become a top goal scorer in this division, it might take 30. It might take that, And we'll see if Grigg hits that. I'm definitely got him for 20. Top goal scorer in the division. I don't know. I don't think he'll be the top goal scorer.
Go on, you can't sit on the fence.
I can't sit on the fence, man.
I'm not going to sit on the fence. I don't think he's going to be the top goal scorer. He's getting 20. Let's just get that right. Like, this is not a disrespect to Will Grigg. Like, he's a top player. You're getting your 20 goals. But I think, yeah, it might be Kabamba, you know. I might have to go with Kabamba.
So Chris, you're going with Grigg.
I'm going Grigg, yeah.
Yeah, but that's your countryman, so you're always going to go with him. So there's a bit of biasness there. That's a Northern Irish connection there. So I think I agree with you. Denanga, when obviously Mike Williamson was there, he was absolutely flying, and I feel as though a little bit of belief has maybe now been restored after that 6-0 that they got yesterday. But it's a tough one. McCallum's there as well. We ain't said his name. Desiree is always popping up with the goals, you know.
Yeah,
Dippo as well. Dippo's been injured.
Dippo's been injured. He come back yesterday. I think it's going to be like Kabamba and Desiree. Because I think like, he scores all type of goals. He scores the scruffy ones. He scores the clean ones. He scores the headers. So I'm gonna say Desiree for sure. I think I'm gonna put my name in, man.
So let's just get this right.
Tenner each. A bad tenner each.
Yeah, let's do it. So you're saying Grigg. You're saying Grigg.
Hey, wait, Femi, you saying tenner each? Don't talk. I ain't got that kind of money, fam. You might have to let me that.
Wait, just for Claire comms. Just for Claire comms, yeah. Let's get this right. Chris is saying Grigg. I'm saying Kabamba, and you're saying there's a weary jam, yeah. It's gonna.
Listen, the way
don't sit on the fence. Who are you saying?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna say there's a read. I'm gonna say there's a read, but I just don't want to copy Chris. I can't. Both not gonna say Will Grigg. So because Grigg is out of the picture, I'm gonna say there's a read. But the amount of chances they create and they play to his strengths, I think it will be him. But I'm gonna go with there's a read.
I just want to see a hat trick from him, like, you know.
Yeah. That's what he's missing, isn't he? He's missing like a 3 or a 4 a game. Like,
wait, what happens when he gets hatchet, fam? You're going to say, okay, it's him.
I'll shut my mouth. I'll be like, I'll hit Chris. I'm sorry. You were right. I was wrong. You know, I got no shame in doing that. I got no shame.
We're gonna have one of his teammates on soon, so we'll see what he says as well. We'll see what he says.
Yeah.
But no, back to the games. In fact, when that bet comes through, I'm gonna message you, Chris. I want my money, you know. Don't try. Femi, you owe me about 50 quid up until now, to be honest. So yeah,
don't try it, bro.
But another surprise package this season has been Aldershot. Absolutely flying up to 6th now. Beat Kidderminster yesterday. Joshua Stokes' 9th goal of the season. Surprising how well they've done. Obviously, a lot of turnaround at that club, but it's been great to see, and they're riding the wave at the moment. Up to 6th, but a team like that, obviously, Kidderminster is tough. They've come into the league and found it really difficult. Probably haven't found their rhythm just as yet. And the thing about the National League is so hard to churn out these results. But again, AFC Fylde as well, another team that struggled, lost 2-0. To York City yesterday. Scott Burgess, fam, and Ryan Fallowfield with the goals in that game. How do you see that game, Femi?
Yeah,
York versus Fylde.
You know what? Yeah, obviously, both teams in the bottom 6. So you would say that is kind of like a 6-pointer. You know, that makes sense. York are pulling results together, like slowly but surely. They're getting there. They're getting there. You can see that there has been a shift, you know. And Fylde, obviously, they've struggled. They've struggled this season. You know, they've struggled. So it was big for both teams to get a result. But for York to go there and pick up a win and a clean sheet, I think it will boost a lot of confidence. Boost a lot of confidence for them, you know. And obviously, like we said, Neil Ali, he knows how to do this division, you know. It's also good with the likes of Dippo coming back from injury. So yeah, like hopefully they can build on this result and continue to crack on. Regarding Fylde, yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. They're in a bit of a rut at the moment, you know, in a bit of a rut. And they're gonna need a big result to get out of it. They're gonna need a big result to get out of it. But you know, on anyone's day, anyone can beat anyone in this division. So they can't give up. Yeah, it's too soon to give up. They just have to continue to try and crack on, innit?
Sure. And I really want to hear from you on this one, Chris. Gateshead 6, Dorking 0. This is the second time Gateshead have beat someone this season, 6-0, by the way. And Billy Chadwick got a hat-trick, Stephen Wern, Ollie, and Booty popping up with the other goals in that game. I feel as though it's a team that you'd enjoy playing for. I don't think I'll get in trouble for saying that, because I feel like they're the type of team that move the ball, keep the ball, and just express themselves out there. So how impressed have you been with Gateshead? Obviously, with losing their management staff a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, well, we played them a few weeks ago. Like, they're honestly, the way they play it's crazy. Like I played striker that day, and the goalkeeper's coming out as a centre half. Like, and this is non-league football. Like, and you're like, what is going on here? Like, nah, but they're a pleasure to watch, aren't they? Like, I seen a few weeks ago. Did you see that goal they scored? Like 32 passes or something.
Yeah, of course.
That's a joy to watch. Like, but they can do that. The teams, like, they can break teams down and like score 5-6, as you say. They've done that twice. But yeah, they are a pleasure to watch, and they're a very tough team to play against.
I think that goal might have been the
season.
Yeah, I think that goal might have been the one that got them the move, to be fair, their coaching staff, because
Oh yeah.
any club that needs a manager and watches that, you just think, do you know what, I need that, because it's, as you said, you don't see that in non-league. And yeah, do you know what, Notts County were great last year, but they were doing it with players that you're probably expecting it from. I think there's a place have come in and they've just wiped the floor with so many teams, and it's with ease. It's like they don't even break sweat. They're all on the same wavelength. They all know what's going on, what's going to happen before it happens. And it's just amazing to see, to be honest, and it's a pleasure to watch. Femi, I'm a big fan of those boys. What did you think?
Oh yeah, it's good to see that they've managed to get a result, you know, and that they're probably over the management leaving and going to MK Dons, you know. But what's interesting is, because you see Gateshead, like, everyone admires the way they play, like everyone loves how they play, everyone loves the style of play and whatnot. Why is it so evident though? Or why was it so evident, that it was the management? Like, why wasn't it, the players? Why, when it came to Gateshead, everyone spoke about the management? Is it that evident? Like, you know what I mean?
And I know what you're saying there. Like, it's a tough one though, isn't it? Because look, like that Booty, they've brought that Booty in. Like, he's just composed in it, so that comes from Evans, and then Denanga as well. He left last season from us, like, but I think it's just the players they've brought in as well. Like the centre half, I don't know if he was there last season, but he's so composed on the ball. Like, I feel like that comes from Evans. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's the management giving the players the belief, letting them know, okay, because we're all capable of playing that brand of football, but it's about having a confidence that, okay, if I make a mistake,
it's all right.
It's not going to matter, because the manager isn't going to get onto me because I've made that mistake. I'll pass it along my box, and it's been cut out. No, he wants you to keep doing that. I remember when we spoke to Ian Watson a couple of weeks ago, that's what he said. He wanted these players to express themselves. But it's funny because, as you said there, Denanga was with Altrincham for a while. And a lot of people probably knew he could score goals, but not in the way he has when he's gone to Gateshead. What is it about him? Is it the system that worked for him at Gateshead a little bit better, or what was it? Because it was a surprise when he left you guys.
Yeah, I think with Marcus, like, it's the way they play, and that, like, they build it right up, and then he's like, no offense, like, but he's scoring top ends and that. But with us, we're sort of a bit different. Like they're like complete football where we can mix it up and do a bit of both. Like, but Marcus is a good player, and it is good to play with him. But I think he just needs to be that more clinical, and I think this year he's been really clinical. Like, so I think that's what's changed most about him. Like,
for sure. And what about you, Fem? Did you think it was the management staff, or do you think it was the players? Going back to your question.
It's interesting because, look, obviously, we all know that the management had a massive influence in how they play, you know, and the great season that they were having, you know. I do also have to give credit to the players, you know, because it does take a lot of bravery to play how they play. This division, there's a lot of high pressing, there's a lot of, and to not panic and play through that press, we're all players, we all know, when you're defensive third, it's so easy to kick it up the pitch. And respectfully, we're not in the Premier League, we're not in the Championship. No one's going to say nothing if we clear it up the pitch. It's even maybe a well done if you get a good clearance. Do you understand? You know what I'm saying? So like, for them to like, no, I'm not clearing it. I'm actually going to work my way out of this situation. You've got to give credit to players. And like I said, like the management, they've played their part massively, but the players have played their part just as much, just as much. So I've got to give credit to them as well.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Going on to some of the big hitters in this league. Oldham versus Eastleigh yesterday. 10th versus 11th. Alex Reid popping up with an equaliser from Chris Maguire's penalty. Obviously, you was at Fleetwood for a while, Chris. And Oldham are a team that have been in League One and just tumbled down the leagues. What have you seen from those guys down there this season, and that result in as well?
Yeah, we've played them twice already. Like we played them at their place and then in our place in the FA Cup, which they won, which was disappointing. But I feel like coming down to this league, like the big teams like that, like York have a lot of money, Oldham have a lot of money. It just goes to show like you can't just throw money at it just to get up. Like there has to be so much stuff behind the scenes. Like you can't just throw a load of money and just expect to go up. But I feel like the new manager Mellon, I think he's a very good manager. Like, and I feel like I personally think they'll push up now and start to get into the playoffs. Like we've played them twice, and it's tough, especially going to their place. Their fans are crazy. Like, see, as soon as they get one attack and they get a bit of momentum, like their fans are they're just on you. Like, but the other way about, like when as soon as they're going bad, they're really bad at their players. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, going back to that is big teams like that. You can't just come to. I think they need to show more respect to the league and that. And you can't just throw money just to get out of the league. Like,
oh, you really can't.
That's a massive point there, Chris. And I'm totally agreeing with you. There's throwing money and there's spending money well, and you look at Chesterfield, they're spending their money well right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Other teams in this season, in the past or whatever, they've had big budgets, but they've just thrown money at and it hasn't really gone according to plan. So I agree with you, and that's not even this division. That's from Premier League down to where we are at now, innit? You look at was it Ebbsfleet a couple of seasons ago? This was a while back. They came through with a massive budget, unbelievable budget. But that season, they end up getting relegated to the National League South. That's what happens when you don't use the money well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But when you do use the money well, and you've seen in recent years the likes of Salford, I think they had money, but they used it really well. You look at Wrexham, they had the money, but regardless of the money, they used it really, really well. You know what I mean? And Chesterfield this year, they've got a big budget, they use it really well. Once you know how to use that money really well, you put it into the right places and you invest it in the right players that are going to deliver, and not just coming for just a paycheck,
Yeah.
Stockport's another one. Not just the paycheck. You actually come in, you want to grow with this club and help this club get where it needs to get to. I feel like, it's the world, sky's the limit. And you even look at now the likes of Notts County, Stockport, and Wrexham in League Two. They got the top 3 spaces, So it hasn't stopped. You know what I mean? These players that they've signed and they've invested into and everything they're doing, they bought into the club and they bought into the vision and where they want to take the club to. So I think
going back to that, like many players of York saying like so many players, like you can't just expect all them to gel and just go straight like get up at top of the league. Do you know what I mean? So there has to be thinking behind spending money and bringing the players in. Like, if you look at Chesterfield, you go back to the players they've signed. Conn-Clarke, like, he's been in this league for years. Like, do you know what I mean? He knows the league. He knows how to score goals in this. So, like, for an example, him, it's a great signing for Chesterfield because he knows the league. Like, do you know what I mean?
Sure, for sure. I'll tell you a little quick story, yeah, and I hope I don't think you'll mind me telling this story. So, Cabs Tishmanga, yeah, he was at Bournemouth with us, good friend of mine. He went to Chesterfield, bought him from us, Bournemouth. But he said when he went to Chesterfield, obviously they gave him big money. They paid a fee for him, whatnot in it. So he was a big hitter in the division. But when he went there and he had the meeting with the manager, why he was like, do you know what, I gotta go. He bought into it and he bought into the division. Reason being is because they showed him a video, yeah, and they showed him clips, and they were like, this is why you're going to score X amount of goals, because in this position, this is where we need you. And they were showing him clips on top of clips on top of clips. And he was just mesmerized, like, wow. Like, basically, I'm the missing piece to the puzzle here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when he signed, it was no surprise he was 25 and 25 at a point. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, he broke his leg. But before he got that injury, he was 25 and 25. You know, and that's why I say, and what I mean by that, 25 goals in 25 games. You know, that's why I say, like, that's what you call like making right investments, spending the money the right way. You know, because there's a method to the madness and everything they do.
Yeah, fact.
100%. And Cabs is doing good things at your
Fleetwood.
Yeah, another big team in our league, Hartlepool, drew 2-2 with Ebbsfleet. Probably a well-needed result for Ebbsfleet. Clifford and Samuel scored his debut goal in the 91st minute, but Desiree and Hasty with the goals in that game. It's interesting because Hartlepool is another team that you probably expected to be in and around the top end of the league. But I feel as though with the manager, John Askey, he's one that would understand what it takes. And he wouldn't underestimate the league. So it's no surprise to see them popping up with the results. But it's a surprise of how far off the mark they are, if that makes sense. I really thought they would have been challenging a lot higher because I feel as though they got the right amount of players. I know they had a lot of injuries, but it'd be interesting to see where they end up. But I think it'll be in around the playoff positions. But another team, Femi, Maidenhead, usually a team that's hard to break down. You know, they always seem to find themselves in the lower rungs of the league, but they always manage to stay up somehow. They beat Halifax yesterday, and I published results like that. They did it. Kane Ferdinand with the only goal in that game, but Charlie Adams, me and Charlie, the only players to get sent off yesterday, so I might have to drop a message and say, it's crazy because you know what it is. It's like you let down your teammates. You work all week. Like, you know when you go into a game, Chris, you had a good week, you've eaten well, you've slept well, you've trained well, and you want to come. You think, you know what? There's no way I'm not going to have a good game this day because I'm prepared so well, you know. But hey, that's what happens sometimes. But football's a crazy game, isn't it? But Femi, how do you see that?
Do you know what's crazy? Do you know what's crazy? Yeah, you actually playing really well. That's the maddest thing about it. You have a great game. Like,
don't do that to him. Don't do that to him.
Chris, you need to understand. Yeah,
I'm really overthinking now.
remember, Chris. Look, away from football, yeah, Jamal's one of my best mates, isn't it? So I know him. I know his demeanor. Yeah. I know his character. And I remember in like early on in the game, like we're playing it, and Jamal's getting the ball, passing it, getting it back as a centre half sweeper, passing it, getting it back. Then
I was passing.
He was passing it. He was keeping it. Then he just gets the ball and he just clips a mad diag to Erico. Yeah, I turn around and looks at him like, like 5 minutes.
Chris, usually, do you know what it is, Chris? First 15, I'm just booting it away, like, get away. But it come to me, I've clipped a nice one. I know Femi's like that. But yeah, it was early on in the game. I think that's what Femi means. It
was good. But back to the Maidenhead game. Look, we all know it's a tough place to go. Maidenhead, and they know how to use the pitch, they know how to use the ground, and it's a long way to go from Halifax. It's a long journey for Halifax, and the players. So
Yeah.
credit to Maidenhead getting the result, and holding on as well with 10 men. Holding on with 10 men. I know it wasn't for a long time, but still 10 men, and you managed to hold on to the 1-0 win and keep a clean sheet. I just wanted to go back to the Hartlepool game as well, because I think it's massive for Epsley, and Epsley have recruited. I think they've recruited really well in the last week or so with the likes of Miles Kenlock and Dominic Samuel. Those two very, very experienced, especially in the EFL. Hundreds of games behind them. So to have those two on board, and Miles was with us for a little while, but to have the likes of that defender, like really, really good defender, and the likes of Dominic Samuel that's got that experience up front, it's good to see. And obviously Dominic Samuel on his debut with the equaliser as well. And I know Miles played 90 minutes, so maybe those two signings, I don't know if the manager's got plans to bring any more in, but those two signings can help them start boosting, moving up the league again.
Yeah, those are shrewd. You're right, Fem. Those are shrewd signings, especially when you sign players that have played at a level. And similar to you, Chris, obviously when you was at Fleetwood, maybe that move didn't go as planned for you, but is that what you aspire to get back to? Get back to League One, get back to the league?
Yeah, to be fair, like right now, I'm just concentrating on football now. Like, do you know what I mean? And just trying to be as happy because, like, I've just had a kid 6 months ago as well. So me and my missus, we've been. Oh, thank you, appreciate it. So we've been moving everywhere. We moved to Fleetwood, moved a few houses in Fleetwood, and then obviously had the loan to Altrincham, moved to Altrincham, and then had the loan to Waterford in Ireland, and then came back to Altrincham. So it's just been mayhem for us for like the last year, moving everywhere. So yeah, I was never quite settled at Fleetwood. I was never I was always going on loan, so felt like I never really had a chance to prove myself or which I don't blame the managers because I feel like even now I still don't know the game fully. So but I've came here and I'm learning the game. So yeah, it's just about being settled for me now. So I'm just being happy and just being settled. So me and my missus can just chill out for a bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And what have you learned? What have you learned about yourself now that you are obviously away from home? You've moved from a few different clubs. You're feeling a little bit more settled at Altrincham. But what have you learned about yourself in that time, and how have you grown up?
Well, since having a kid, it's made me turn into a man completely. Because you have to think about so much stuff. Off the pitch, you have to live as a proper professional now because you need it to run 11.5K on the weekends. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you have so much responsibilities now, so it puts that added pressure on you, doesn't it? But that's football. You're always going to get pressure, But yeah, what I've learned about myself, is just it's mentality mainly for me. If I'm not having a good week or not having a good game, can't let it affect me. For upcoming weeks. Do you know what I mean? And even in a game, if I'm not doing well, with me, I don't have to be playing well for the full 90 minutes. I only need that one moment to score a goal or get an assist. So yeah, with me it's just mentality. Just not have a weak mentality and just be strong mentally.
For sure. I want to ask a question, yeah, and this is for both of you guys, yeah, because we had Wes, yeah, come on the show a couple of weeks ago, and obviously Wes is now 25, but I've known Wes from a very young age. He's like my little brother, and when he came on the show, he started speaking about, I finally learned about dietary and recovery and stuff, yeah. What age do you think that athletes start taking that seriously? Because at 21 years old, yeah, I'll be honest with you, my diet wasn't bad, but I didn't really watch what I eat like that. You know what I'm saying? What age do athletes start taking it seriously, you think?
See, every club I've been at, I've always carried extra weight. Every club I've been at, they've tried to make me diet and do this, do that, and I've just been like, nah, I don't need it. I'll just be on the pitch. Just let me be on the pitch. You know what I mean? So a bit now. I'm starting to realize like you do need it, like, and especially in football nowadays, like it's just full of athletes, isn't it? That even at every level, like, and with me, I'm not the tallest, I'm not the fastest, so like my football and brain will help me out, but it's not gonna, like, talent again only gets you so far, doesn't it? So you need to do the other things now, which I still don't fully understand, but I'm trying to understand. Like,
it's a weird one. Do you know what I say? It's a really weird one because like I just remember when I was younger and how it is now, like to the point where if me and Jamal are together and I see Jamal pull out a chocolate bar from his pocket, which he usually does, I just give him a look. I just give him a look, like, bro, like, what are you
Hold on a minute.
I don't even say that.
What are you talking about? What are you
that's why
trying
he's
to do
getting
here?
sent off at the weekends, because he's eating too much chocolate.
Do you know what I mean? Listen, see, look what you started now.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus, man. No,
Sorry.
right.
But you know what I mean, though? Like now, it's like we take it so seriously. Like, but it hasn't always been like
It's
this.
crazy. Like,
What's that?
like even when I like see my family, like, and we're in a restaurant and say I order like a burger or something, they're like, "Can you eat that? Are you sure? You can't eat that. That's not healthy." It's mad. Like, even your family's getting on to you, and you're like, "Ah."
Oh,
Jamal can't eat a burger around me. He knows.
It's crazy.
Vice versa. I can't eat a burger around him.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that for me, vice versa. But no, Chris, what you said there about talent only getting you so far is so true. And for you to say that at such a young age, that speaks volumes of your maturity. But yeah, I think everyone's different. I think I've always been quite conscious of my food intake. Don't get me wrong, you're allowed a chocolate bar here and there, you're allowed a cheat day, but for the most part, I think if you want to really reach your potential as a footballer, as a person, let alone that, you've got to, because there's so many other people that are doing it. So if you're finding those 1% on a Saturday, it's going to make a difference. If I'm living right every day and eating properly, I'm not. Chances are I'm going to probably get the better of you on a Saturday. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, fam, I think you're right there. I think it varies though. I think it varies, but yeah, we're definitely food snobs at our club. I think someone tried to order a doner kebab the other day, and we had to shut it down.
You can't be having that, like.
Honestly, but yeah, diet is so important.
Yeah, big time.
Back to the game. So, go on. What you say?
No, I got another story for you guys. Yeah. So when I was a youth team player, yeah.
If it's another story about me, don't bother.
No, it's not me. It's not about you. It's not about you. When I was a youth team player, yeah, at QPR, yeah, I remember like we had a lot of first teamers that I aspired to be like in it, that I looked up to and whatnot. And I remember one day like Wayne Routledge like just like pulled up to training now, yeah, but he got a big pack of Haribos like in his hand, like the Tangfastics, you know, and he's eating it like, but the way he's eating it, he's not eating it. He knows it's bad, but so he's aware that it's not good, like to eat a whole pack of sweets like that. But he's eating it as if to say, "I'm gonna eat this, but I'm still gonna deliver on the pitch as well." He had that energy, the way he was eating it. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget that moment because I looked at him just to say, "No, you know this isn't right. What you should be doing." But you're doing it to. You're actually trying to prove a point right now. Like, you know what I mean? It always sticks in my head when I think about the dietary and stuff. Like, yeah.
But you know what? It's funny you say that though, because if you hear the stories about, say, R9, Eden Hazard, who had all the talent in the world, but when it came to their diet, maybe a little bit of their lifestyle choices, they were absolute cannons. But it seems as though as long as you're delivering on the pitch, it's tolerated. But then there's also that argument that maybe their injuries were a subsequence of how they were living at the same time. So I think it's about always finding that balance. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, big time.
I 100% agree, and I 100% agree with you, Jam. And I think the latter I agree more. I think Eden Hazard, he's retired. You know, he should be nowhere near retired. And there
He
are.
was an absolute joke. Like,
Do you understand what I'm saying? But there are numerous stories about this guy's habits outside of football. His dietary, he's sleeping late, things like that. And you got away with it for a long time, but when it was actually time to lock in and you go to Real Madrid and you can't get away with it now, I think he kind of got found out. Like, don't get twisted, he still had an incredible career, but I know like it will be naive of him to not think, what if, and I'm sure sometimes like he'll be thinking, what if, because that was from when stories about Heathen Hazard are getting to me. Come on, it's got to be somewhat.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's definitely thinking, what if? But
Do you think he cares though when he has millions in the bank?
yeah, do you know why?
Do you think so?
Oh, I hear you, Chris. I hear you.
Would you care if you had millions in the bank?
Unfulfilled. The thing about unfulfilled potential, as much as he done so much, and let's be honest, he did things that we can only dream of, right?
Yeah, facts.
There still might be a case of, did I fulfill my potential? Yes, I won various Premier League. Yes, I played for Real Madrid, but did I do everything that I could to be the best player I could? And maybe I think at a point, I'll be honest with you, when you make your first 5 million, the rest of the money after that is just nothing. I don't think they care about it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do think there is a sense, there might be, I'm not sure, about that unfulfilled potential of what he could have been. And let's be honest, he was everything. So I'm not sure.
Like Chris, you need to understand there's definitely an ick or an itch on his shoulder, like thinking, because he can't run away from the noise.
Yeah, it's hard to, isn't it? Especially nowadays with social media, isn't it? Like,
exactly. And when the noise is somewhat true to a certain extent, you're gonna start listening.
Yeah, it plays on your mind, don't it?
So yeah, the millions in the bank, yeah, like he's buzzing, like I've got millions in it, I'm good for life. But I know sometimes he'll be thinking, should have listened to David Luiz that day.
But for what he did achieve, he must, and the way he was living, his talent must have just been. Obviously, we saw a little bit, but imagine seeing him like on a day-to-day. It must have been outrageous.
Yeah, he must have been an absolute joke. Like,
it's just God-given talent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't teach. It's just given to you. Like Messi, you can't teach that.
You see some interviews about him, and like some of the Chelsea players, and they're saying he's an absolute shambles in training, just walked about and that, and then he's going doing that things on a Saturday for Chelsea. Like, it's crazy. Like,
but you can only do that at that level, though. You can't do it at National League level.
Yeah.
And this is what I try to tell some of the young boys that come to train with us. It's not about what you do on the ball. It's about you've got to do everything, because there's no luxury players in the National League. You know that. You don't pretend yourself. Like, as much as you said, yeah, you don't have to play well and you only need a moment. You know there's still, you got to put a shift in, and you don't get to play if you don't play put in 11K like you did. Yeah, there's so much more to it. But sorry, going back to the games again. Oxford v Woking. Woking probably having a tough time. Oxford beat them 3-2. Josh Parker popping up with another goal. That's his 9th goal this season. McKechnie and Sanderson with the other goals in that game. Padraig Armand, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, with a brace in that game. Femi, how did you see that game? And what have you seen from Woking? Because we've got them in a few weeks as well.
Yeah, Woking are having a bit of a tough time, if I'm being honest with you. They've got a couple of bright sparks in these tough moments. Obviously Armand with getting 2 goals, and then Lewis, who's been flying for them recently. So that even though they're having a tough time, there are a couple of bright sparks, but it just seems right now that they can't get a result together. We've managed to sign Matt Robinson from them, so I know that them on loan. So I know that the manager is doing a bit of things in terms of reshuffling, and obviously they got knocked out to Ramsgate in the FA Cup. But I don't even want to focus on that, because you know what the FA Cup is. Anything can happen on the day. It's like a Final Four. for a lot of non-league teams. So I don't really want to focus on that, but it doesn't help with the narrative. That's why I brought it up. It don't help with the narrative of what's happening with Woking right now. So yeah, it's been tough for them. It's been tough for them, and they just seem like they can't get a win. But on the flip side of it, Oxford City, they're going to look back at this season and have a lot of good memories, you know. And it seems like the place is not an easy place to go to, you know. Obviously, we all know it's there. Have you been there, Chris?
Yeah, we played them on BT Sport. It's a tough place to play. Like,
yeah, with the 3G and everything like that, you know. Did you not beat them?
Yeah, we beat them 2-1. To be fair, we weren't the best that day. They were the better team, like, but we were just clinical that day and scored 2 goals, like.
Yeah, so yes,
but they play some great football, like.
Yeah, they do. For sure. They play, and they're fearless as well. It's like they've come into this division with like, we've got nothing to lose, you know. Everyone's written us off, so we might as well go for it. And this is how they probably got their results this season, and they've got another one yesterday. So credit to them. And do you know what? Credit to because with Oxford, you're also seeing the players that are coming forth. You know, Zach McEachran, I think he's a quality player. I do not know.
Yeah, he's quality.
I do not know how he's ended up at this level. You know, you got Sanderson and Parker as well, 2 strikers. I think they're a good partnership, and I'll be surprised if clubs are not gonna be chasing those 2 come end of the season, whether it's this division or maybe even the division above. But I'll be surprised if the don't get acquired. Yeah.
Okay. Another surprise result, Chris. Wolverstone beating Rochdale 3-2. Jack Cook popping up with a brace. Don't see a defender doing that often, but a dark one popping up. You know? Mitchell and East with the goals for Rochdale, but obviously wasn't enough. How have you seen that result? Because that was probably a surprise. I saw somewhere online that if you would have said that result would have come in a few years ago, you would have probably thought it was an FA Cup tie rather than a Vanarama National League game. So how do you see that result?
Was Wealdstone at home in that game? Yeah.
Wealdstone at home, yeah.
Yeah, we played them a few weeks ago and got a 0-0, and them and that their place are very good. Like, again, play great football. But we were coming off the back of 2 defeats that time, so we literally just sat behind the ball the whole game, and they kept the ball very well. But yeah, 3-2 Rochdale as well. We've got them in a few weeks, so hopefully they're lacking a bit of confidence after that. Like,
well, they're a good team. They're a good team. How about you, Femi?
Yeah, so it's a massive result. Like the National League, it's an amazing league because you got teams like Wealdstone beating Rochdale, and you wouldn't have, like you said, you wouldn't have dreamed of that, you know, a couple of years ago. And it's just a great opportunity for like smaller clubs to go toe to toe with giants and see how they fare against them, you know. And it seems like yeah, David beat Goliath yesterday in that little universe, you know. Obviously Rochdale, similar to what you said about Oldham, you know, it's a massive club, you know, surprising they're in this division, but they just, like, you would have thought that they will be higher in the league than they are, you know what I mean, and that they'll be better. But there's still a lot of the season to go. Rochdale, they're filled with loads of players. They still got Ty Sinclair to come back from injury as well. So I'm sure that they will finish off strong. But credit to Wealdstone for picking up another big result against a good team as well.
Have you played Wealdstone at their place yet?
Yeah, we played them a couple of weeks back, and we drew. Was it 1-1 for me?
1-1, yeah.
They went down to 10 men, and that's the game that Femi was alluding to earlier, where it's really tough to break down a team. We're so frustrated because we just couldn't break them down. You know.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think it was playing a different brand of football when we played them. To be honest, I think if we would have played them now with the more confidence we've got and the way we're moving the ball a little bit better, I think it would have been a different story. The televised game yesterday between Dagenham and Solihull, Dagenham losing 2-1. Jay Ben scored an absolute screamer. I don't know if you guys have seen that goal.
No, I haven't seen it. I just caught the last 10 minutes of it on the way back from the match.
Unbelievable goal. Josh Kelly popping up. But Jay Ben, I think the ball's been crossed from the left-hand side, and he's come onto it on the half volley and just hit it right across goal, top corner. Beautiful goal. It was literally right after that Dagenham scored the opener. And as you know, you're always settled to concede once you've just scored. Definitely the case in that game. So I want to get your views on that one, Femi. And what did you think of that result?
First and foremost, I just want to say a massive apology to Josh Kelly, because we did not bring his name up when we spoke about goal scoring in this division.
Oh yeah, okay.
And he's scoring goals, he's doing his thing, you know. But we all know that Solihull, good team, you know. They had a very, very long unbeaten run in this start of the league. And I think up until now, if I'm correct, they've only lost 2 games this season, you know. So you know that to beat them, it's gonna take a lot. Everyone's gonna have to be 8 out of 10 on the day. I'm being honest with you, to take down Solihull. They've earned that respect, you know, to only lose 2 from 19 games. So yeah, credit to them for the result. Dagenham at their place, it just seems like they lose. They don't get many results at their place. You know, they don't get many results at their place. It just seems like maybe they're a little bit better. They get more results away from home than at their home. But they need to start making Victoria Road a fortress, man. They need to start making it a fortress, and hopefully they get it together. Obviously, Tom Eastman, centre half, popping up with a goal. Obviously, it's good to see Iniafanyon back. Played against him a couple of weeks ago as well, which is good. But yeah, they just when they get that home form on point, I think Dagenham will start climbing up the table right now. You know, but yeah, they just need to do that. If they match their home form with their away form, they'll be okay.
Yeah, they're struggling at home this year, aren't they?
Yeah,
because we played them last year at their place, and I felt that was one of the toughest places to go last year. They beat us 4-1, and we scored a cancellation in that last minute. Like, but yeah, this year they're just not doing it at home, like, are they?
No, but they'll go away and get results. That's the thing. So it's a tough.
We had them first game of the season, like, and they scored in the 99th minute to get an equaliser against us, like. So yeah, they're doing it away, which is bad. 99th minute.
Hey, how does it feel?
I remember started.
Yeah, how does it feel to concede in a 99th minute? Because come on, it shouldn't even be 9 minutes. So
it's crazy. The first few games of the season, there was like 12, 13 minutes being added on. It was crazy. You were playing like 110-minute matches. But yeah, like it's happened to us a few times this season. There was another game we conceded like 98th minute. I forget what it was.
Too long.
I'm not sure. But yeah, Dagenham, they done a first game of the season and we were gutted, like.
Well, that's the roundup of the games. Again, another exciting weekend of football, and that is what I love about the National League. You never know what's going to happen. You know, it's a league that you can't go by what's on the paper. You know, okay, you see the team sheet, yeah, that team's going to win. Apart from Chesterfield this season, it's just everyone else just beating everyone. But we're coming on to one of my favourite parts of the show now, which is the advice for younger players. And I think it's perfect to come from you, Chris, being that you're young. You know, obviously me and Femi are the older kids. And Fem, I think yesterday we found out who's older than me in the National League. Chris, Femi always says I'm the oldest player in the National League. Yeah? But I think Byron Webster beats me by a couple of months, you know. Yeah, I think he beats me by a couple of months, so I'm happy about that. And to be fair, he's still going strong. He looked good out there, so maybe I still got a couple more years in me.
No, you have thing as well. You have thing as well at Chesterfield. Is it Matt Jones?
Actually, yeah, you know what? I'm putting myself in the middle bracket then, if that's the case.
Yeah, mid-tier.
He's 36. Listen, he's 36. He's going strong, but yeah. So the whole. Say that again.
Who's that? 39. Let me check.
But yeah, usually we do advice for younger players, and hearing from older heads, sometimes players don't even believe or want to listen. But I think a player of your age who's making his way in the game, and earlier you said about talent isn't the only talent's only going to get you so far. So, is there any other gems that you can give players coming through that will look at you and say, okay, if he can do it, then I can do it, being a similar age?
Well, with me, if you had met me 3 years ago when I was like 18, 19, any advice I would have given, I would have been like, nah, I'm not listening to you. I know what I'm going to do. Like, I know where I'm going in the game. So now I'm a bit more mature. I'm still young, still learning it, obviously, I keep saying, but I think just be a sponge as much as you can, no matter who it is. Like, if they're non-league, if they're years below you, just listen to them, because obviously older people are more mature. Like, you will know a lot more about the game than me. Like, but just listen to everyone and anyone who tries to help you, because see, as soon as you start like not listening to people, people will just stop giving advice and they'll stop speaking to you. And I've always said, as soon as a manager doesn't shoot at you, then he doesn't have any respect for you and he doesn't want you anymore.
Yeah.
And also, I'd say for young players, loans. With me, when I when I was at Fleetwood and Altrincham were coming in with a loan, I was like, no, I want to play for Fleetwood. I should be in the first team of Fleetwood. And I was like, no, I don't want to go, blah, blah, blah. And then I went on loan, and look what it's done. It's put my name out there. I've got a platform to work on now. So, yeah, I'd say loans is a big thing as well. Like,
I like that.
And by the way, even if it's like 2 leagues below this, just men's football, go play half a season in men's football. You'll learn so much. Like, I remember one of my first games for Altrincham, we were 2-0 down to Woking at half time, conceded 2 goals in 10 minutes, come into the change room, and the men are going crazy at each other and they're fighting. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I've never seen this before. And they're ripping shirts off each other. I'm like, what's going on here? So, yeah, so no matter what level it is and no matter how good you think you are, just have a loan spell, 6 months to a year, and just learn a lot about the game. Like,
That's very, very good advice, man. Like I said, man, I knew immediately that you definitely got a wise head on your shoulders, and I think a lot of players after seeing this will follow suit, because look, it didn't work out for whatever reason at Fleetwood Town for you, but you've managed to drop down a couple of divisions, and now you're creating a name for yourself, and I'm sure. I have no doubt that you will be back up there in a couple of years' time. You know what I mean, and playing, and you will be probably playing against the team that didn't work out for you. Do you know what I mean? You're probably playing against them, wearing another jersey, or you'd probably be higher. And it just goes to show that taking that step back to learn the game and to understand it can pay off. So I'm really rooting for you, Chris, man. I'm really rooting for you, and I really hope that you go and do it. So because you're a living testament.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I'd have to say the same. As I always say, as much as I love having our guests on, when we don't be surprised if we play against you and we don't say hello to you, Chris.
No, that's all right.
We're gonna be locked in, and we're gonna have to act like we don't know. It went too nice, and it takes off our game, but.
I'll just have to make you, mate. I'll just have to make you up in it.
Hey, listen, I know you're going for the Megs. I can see that when you make the other guy, one of my players the other day, I was like, oh my days, but I had to get back. I was thinking, that's clean. It went straight through. And the worst thing is that you skipped round him. You even went like that and just went. I said, oh, no. That was too clean. But no, that's great.
Do you know what's funny, Jamal? Yeah, yesterday, yeah. I know a lot of the Bromley boys, isn't it? So I'm like, I'm not saying hello to nobody. I'm not saying nobody, yeah. So we're like in the thing, dugout, waiting to walk out, yeah. And I'm just there like this in my zone. I'm like, I'm not saying hello to no one. And then Brian Webster, he goes, "Baby, what's happening, man?" I turn around, I'm like, "Oh, what's going on, Webber? You're right."
Hey, they're trying to disarm you, fam. They're trying to disarm you.
I respect him. What can I say? I respect him. He's had a great career. He's done a lot of work. But mates, away from her, like, you know, he's a good guy. So I didn't say no to anyone else, though.
100%. I think, to be fair, I think when you play against each other so much, you build up little football relationships, don't you? So there's always that respect. But another part of this show that I really love is the word of the week. This is where we say one word, and it can be anything, Chris, that helps us get through the week, or anytime we're feeling maybe down or even feeling a confident mood, we just remember that word and we use it to get us through. So Femi, I'm going to start with you, then I'm going to go, and then hopefully you've got one in mind, Chris. But Fem, what's your word of the week?
My word of the week is bounce back ability. And do you know what? Yeah, this is more for you, for yourself.
Is this
John.
for me?
Yeah,
This for me?
yeah, it's more for yourself.
For me again? Yeah.
I'll be honest with
Let's hear
you. It's more for yourself because yeah, it's been tough, and it's been a tough couple of weeks, man. But it's never over till it's over, innit? You know what I mean? And you've definitely got what it takes to bounce back. Like you've got to never say die attitude. You're disrespectful in the sense of you don't know when to quit. You know what I mean? And you put in that work. I'm with you every day. You put in that work. So this is just the time for you to regroup and to bounce back. And you know, I'm actually excited. I'm excited because when you bounce back from situations, I find so much excitement in it. I remember I got sent off boxing day.
Yeah.
Against Barnet. And I was devastated, but I remember thinking, I need to do a mad comeback. Like, this is going to be exciting. I need to make sure I come back. And when I come back, it's performance after performance after performance. And you know what I mean? And it's that little, it gives you that little fire in your stomach, you know. And I'm excited for you, Jam, to see how you're going to react for this. Like, this will, like, you know what I mean? I want to see, and I want us to laugh about this situation come end of the season. Like, oh man, Jam, remember? Yeah. And then laughing like, bro, look at us now. Look at the season you had. I want that in it. I want that for us, man. And yeah, so that's my word of the week. Bounce back ability, man. So yeah.
This is why I keep him close to me, Chris, because he holds me up when I need it. Do you know what I mean? But,
yeah, he's a good egg. He's a good egg.
Oh, I'll give him stick as well. Don't get twisted.
A little bit too much sometimes. Not gonna lie.
But I'm good for him. Yeah.
For sure. Chris, do you want to go, or do you want a little bit more time?
No, I'll go. Mine's it's not really football related, but mine's just family. Like, obviously, I've just created my own family, and if anyone's ever feeling down, like, I'm a big mental health. I've lost friends through like suicide and stuff. So if you're ever looking for a reason to quit, even if that's in football or just in life, your job, whatever it is, just think about your family and just do it for your family. Obviously, I've created a family now, so it gives me that extra 1%, and our gaffer's always speaking about 1%. So yeah, family would be my word. Like,
no, that's powerful. That's powerful. Sorry to hear about friends that you've lost. That's really powerful. I think that's an important message. Family is definitely the most important. It's something that me and Femi are very passionate about as well. 100%. So my word is going to be plan. You know, I think it's all about sticking to the plan, setting your plan out and not deviating from it, whatever may happen. You know, so stay in the course. So, for instance, if you're having a bad day, understanding what your plan is. For instance, myself, okay, I've been sent off, but I know what my plan is for the season. I know what my plan is for the week and the month. So, understanding that and sticking to it, because it's not always going to go to the plan that you want, but understanding what you want and how you're going to get it. The only way to do that is by sticking to it, you know. So that's my word of the week. So we've got bounce back ability. Is that one word, Fem, by the way?
Yeah, it is.
Huh?
Yes.
It is. Bounce back ability.
Yeah.
Bounce back ability. I like that. Bounce back ability is important. And we've got family and we've got plan. I love that. But yeah, no, I think this has been an amazing episode. I feel as though this is one that is really going to resonate with the younger generation. And I just want to say again, thank you, Chris, for coming on and blessing us with your time. I wish you nothing but the best in your career and life. Congrats on the new addition to the family. And yeah, really appreciate it. It's
been an absolute pleasure, boys. Thanks for bringing me on anyway.
I'll see you out on the battlefield, Chris.
That's it, mate. That's it. All the best for the future anyway, whatever it leads us.
We'll keep our legs closed. We'll tell the boys keep the legs closed. Keep the legs
Yeah,
shut.
that's it.
Yeah. Fed, you want to round us up?
Yeah, all right, guys. Thank you for watching another episode of Beyond 92. Please like, subscribe, share, show a friend. Let's just help push this on as much as we can. And on that note, I'm out. See you guys later.
Yes, boys, see you after.